We go. All right, welcome to our Pebble office hours. Just me today. We're gonna jump right into it. Today is May 28th. We've got some questions here on follow-up and ranged offers. So if you have any other questions, you can throw in the chat. Other than that, I do have the questions already lined up here, I believe. So let's get started. Uh, Ed asks how to set up auto follow-up mailings. When one lead has been mailed a letter, how to mail the same offer a second or third time or 30 days later. Also, does the system create a new offer code or use a new one in the following mails? Okay, cool. So I want to make sure we understand our follow-up is with active leads. Okay. This is different from cold outreach. We only generate a code for any cold outreach. If they're an active lead, there's no need for a code anymore. You already know they're an active lead, they're in your system. You're not really, tracking for money. So to answer your question here, Ed, you can send
Yeah.
an initial campaign. If they are getting back to you, they've gotten back to you, then you can sort of add them in an auto follow-up sequence. At that point, we do not need to create a new offer code. You could use our APN. You already know their name. They're already active on your deal board. Okay. But if they are somebody who's never gotten back for you, then you want to recreate the campaign. So they're totally two different things, right? In my understanding here, Ed, it sounds like this person never got back to you. Is that correct?
They That's a good question. So I think it through our work process here, workflow. Um, that is correct. So yeah, let's use that instance example first. Let's do it both ways because
Okay.
we do both of them. So let's say I send someone an offer in a campaign
Yeah.
for 20,000 bucks. I'll buy your land.
Hmm.
And 30 days later, I want to automatically send them that same $20,000 offer again.
Okay. So we can automate cold outreach. So if
You
you
can
want
or
to,
cannot, but
we
I couldn't get
cannot
tell.
automate cold outreach. Okay. So what you want to do is then go back to the campaign by going to the properties there. Because if they're part of a campaign, you're probably going to remail that entire list anyways. So what I would do is filter down to that campaign. Maybe, it's this one here, Bend, Oregon mail campaign. I'll filter down to those properties. I will then, there's 6,000 here for me. I'll also make sure they are excluded on any deal board. And then I will select them all by hitting the checkbox, hit select all 6,000 properties, and then create the campaign. So what I would do is just, set them a reminder, hey, in a month I need to recreate the campaign and send it out to them, which is pretty straightforward. Now, there's a
Okay, and
couple of
then
reasons why we've done this. I mean, cold outreach, and then also, there's also money that is going to be spent here. So we really want to make sure you are aware of what you're going to be remailing here. Okay. So when you recreate a campaign, yes, we will generate a new campaign record code. So it'll send them a second one, and there'll be a new code for that piece of mailer. Now, auto follow-ups are for leads. These are not leads. These are just property owners at this point. They're leads once they've gotten back to you. At that point, that's totally different. They would be on our deal board already. We would enroll them into an auto follow-up. Follow-up is for active leads, people who have expressed interest, have gotten back to you and solicited well, anyways, you're allowed to reach out to them, right? And that point, you can send a follow-up. At that point, you don't need a follow-up. You don't need a mailer code anymore. They're already an active lead. You can bring them up anytime. Um, and at that point, you can enroll them into a follow-up. And follow-ups are built under auto follow-up here. Okay. You can build out your own drip sequence by going to add plan and then building it out yourself here. Okay. These are two totally different scenarios. One, Ed was asking remailing an entire list, which you can do. And the other one is following up with an individual lead. Okay. The auto follow-up, the auto mailing, if you want to call it that, Ed, or auto texting, auto email, and call reminder, that is for active leads only.
okay, got it. That's very helpful.
Okay.
And the excluding on the remailing the campaign, excluding anything in a deal. That's huge. When I saw you do that, like, oh, this saves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been beating my head against the wall. How do I do this? All right,
Yeah.
this is huge. It's very helpful.
Okay.
Now, when we do the auto follow up with the mail, let's say we remail the offer, the guy ghosted us. We want to come back 30 days later with the
Yeah.
same offer.
Mhm.
In the auto follow up,
Yeah.
we would need a different template,
Yes.
one
Correct.
that does not show the code
Correct.
field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And
got
are you
it.
doing blind
Understood.
offers, Ed?
Yes.
Okay. So, can somebody on my team here get Ed my increased offer follow-up video? Because I literally built that out. And so if you're going to do blind offers and you want to like say do increased offers, you're going to need to get those offers into custom fields. There it is, pebblearia.com/increased offer. So there's a video. I literally built that out with you. You can watch through that.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
But if you want to send them the same offer, sometimes I
Mhm.
don't want to increase it because if I increase it, that
Sure.
costs me money. So I
Sure.
just want to send the
You
same.
could do
The
that.
problem is the one that I sent the first time in the campaign
Yeah.
is not saved in the
Under the property.
templates.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh, oh.
so
Yes. So
what's
what
the
I'm saying
best way
is,
to do? I was trying to find an easy, quick way to do that when follow. I dumped these 50 guys that ghosted me.
yeah.
We've had a little discussion. We
Yes.
didn't come
Yes.
to the meeting of the minds on price,
Yeah.
of course. Can
Yeah.
you imagine that?
Yeah.
And
No,
then
that
I want
happens.
to send them these 50 or these 100. It happens. These 50 or 100 guys, I
Yeah.
want to send them an auto follow up
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
same price.
Sure. Sure.
What's the most efficient way for me to do
Yeah.
that?
Okay, great question. So, um, when we initially create a campaign, that offer price is associated with that campaign, not the property. Okay, it's with the campaign, although the property is with the campaign. So I would also bring in the price, not only to the price column for the campaign, but create a custom field here that says offer. And you could say, you can create it and just call it like, I don't know, follow up offer like I'm doing right now. Okay.
Yeah,
And then maybe also maybe I don't know if you want to increase offer 5%. Okay. So when you bring in that list, match it up to these custom fields because when you generate that follow-up later, just make sure that letter uses these two or uses one of these property fields as the placeholder. So it's already here. You say, hey, I'm interested in offering you 5,000. You know, you interested. That was the same price as my initial offer that was associated with the campaign. So in short, Ed, all I'm saying is when you create the campaign, you also want to upload your price to another custom field that is associated directly with the property. So when you generate that auto follow-up, it'll pull from this because the auto follow-up cannot pull from the campaign. Okay.
yeah. I'm taking some screenshots here so I
Yeah.
can remember all this.
And we're going to oh, it looks like Diana, that's a 404. The link is not loading. Let me see.
I love
Weird. It
Monday.com.
works for me. I don't know if it has to do with the HTTPS, Diana. If you can double check that. If not, just give everybody the direct link to that. And yeah, give them the direct link. Okay, awesome. Okay, thanks, Ed. That's I'm glad we clarified that. Conceptually, that can be challenging to understand. You know, like the price is associated with the campaign, but you know it's not associated with the property, and so on and so forth. And then also
Yeah,
campaign
and the main
cold outreach versus follow up. We have to make a very clear distinction between those two things. So okay,
yeah. Plus, I got to make new templates.
yeah, right. Hey, by the way, if you don't want to make templates, Ed, we know somebody on Upwork, a couple people that can do them for pretty cheap. So, you know, you can just give them your template and you don't need to be the one. They know Pebble. So I'm going to get Dinah to drop that in the chat there. Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Matt, how you doing? Good to see you. How to set up automations, especially mail, text, task, and follow-ups. Yep. All right. So there's two different things. There's auto follow up with leads, Matt, and you can set them up here by going to auto follow up and hitting add plan, and you can build out your sequence. Now, that's half of the work there. You can do a few things. You can email, you can text, mail, and then do a call reminder for yourself. Um, to enroll somebody in that, you can either hit enroll contact or wherever you see a contact, like on on here, you can hit quick enroll and choose a plan to quick enroll them. Now, some of them might say you cannot quick enroll. That's because I have not set up my email on this account just yet. Okay. So you would go review plan and then manually choose an email or something. Okay. That's one thing. Tasks are totally different. Auto follow-ups are following up with leads. Okay. Tasks are totally different. They're task lists, and you can create tasks by coming into your task list of any deal card. Okay. We need to do a few things, Matt. We need to create the task list, save it as a template, and then assign it to a stage so it can get automated. So anytime you drag it to a certain stage, it'll get automated. So you can literally build out a task list, okay, by just hitting add task, then hit save template. It'll calculate the days out. So whenever that gets assigned, it's in like 3 days or 4 days that'll start the countdown. You can even assign it to a person. They'll get notified. Once you've saved it as a template, the last thing to do is just assign it to a stage. So go back to the deal board here, find the stage you want, and then hit setup automation here, and then add automation, look for add task list, and then choose that template you just created and hit save. So now, anytime I drag something into warm leads, you see it's 0 out of 24. If I drag it into here now, it'll be 0 out of 27. Now it's red because there are overdue tasks on here.
Very cool. Okay, that makes sense. And I
Awesome.
think Ed's question answered a lot of questions as well.
Okay,
I
good,
mean,
good.
Jesse,
Yeah.
I had a quick question around what do you see like the top land investors using Pebble? Like, what do you see as far as strategy, of the stuff that you can share? Like, how do people use the automation follow-ups for leads? Like, what are you seeing the most? Is it, text or
Oh,
reminders, or what do
yeah,
people generally use?
I wouldn't know. But I mean, if I
Because I'm
had
a
to
little
say,
lost as to like how to use. I mean, this tool's amazing, but also overwhelming. I'm thinking,
yeah,
how do I get started?
right, right. I wouldn't worry too much about like the sequence itself. Like, I don't think anything beats a phone call or in person. So, like, I would always follow up by a phone call. This is what I typically hear. Like, double dial, triple dial, follow up. If you can't resort to that, then start building out a drip sequence. Like, hey, were you still interested in the offer? And you know what? You can ask ChatGPT, explain what you're doing, your land investor, your land flipping, you're following up with people. I can text, email, and phone people and even send a direct mail. Can you build me out a 10, 20 step drip sequence? Everybody's got it so different that we can't really, categorize this data and say this is what's working. Phone call obviously is going to be the way that I would recommend. I think mailers are works really well for houses. For land, I think it can work too. Texting can be powerful too. So it's a matter of, building. I would say build a small sequence, Matt, and like see what kind of responses you're getting and build off of that. Unfortunately, I don't have any strategic
Cool.
sort of thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's super helpful. I mean, I already feel good on the phone, and it seems like just keep going with that.
Yeah,
That's
set your call reminders. So you can set call reminders so that it notifies you to call them. And that way you don't have to worry about it. Now, call
yeah.
reminders are different from task lists, okay, Matt?
Okay.
Like I would do that in the auto follow-up and then and build a sequence here with, a call reminder.
That might be the way to go. Is just do call reminders.
I
Just
would.
start
Yeah.
small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like follow up isn't dependent on when the deal goes into a certain stage. It's like dependent on when they stop communicating with you or it varies a lot more than just a stage. So that's where these follow-ups come in play. Tasks, like how do we separate it? Task is more like I got to run due diligence, I got to check slope, I got to do this and then call this person and then call the county. And that's what I would categorize as task. And anything you feel like it's like following up with the lead that has gotten back to you, that should be the auto follow-up plans. Okay.
Cool. Very cool. Okay.
It
That
tends to be
answers some questions.
associated with the contact. So that's what it's meant for. I hope that
Cool.
gives you
Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate it.
no problem. All right, Terry has a really good question. Ranged offer is not something I see too often nowadays, but we can certainly do that. So a ranged offer on a campaign is like, hey, I'd like to offer you $500 to $1,000. First of all, you need to have a column for the upper and the lower limit range, okay? In your letter, you don't need to do anything fancy here. As long as the letter has the offer price, let's just say here, as long as it has this uh, placeholder that is associated with the campaign, right? I was talking about that earlier, right, Ed? This is not associated with the property. It's stuck with the campaign, okay? Now, when you upload your list, if you uploaded one price, which most people do, it'll say that one price. It'll say buyer will pay $1,000 USD. But if you used the secondary price as well, there's a I'll show you after this. There's a price and a secondary price, and you filled up both of them. Let's say the first row said 500 and 1,000 is the secondary. It will automatically populate with a range in this one placeholder. It'll say 500 dash 100. Oh, sorry, 1,000. So it's a range, right? You probably wouldn't put that on the purchase agreement, but it'll be in your letter. So to do that, okay, and I think we have an article on that, Diana or Tracy, if you guys can find that. I would come to here, create a campaign, all right, ranged offer, let's just call it direct mail. My favorite county. I'm gonna choose a letter, and I think I have one with, let me just see. Um, I think I have one with, I called it the upper and lower limit on my document. So let's see if I have it. Ooh, do I have something here? Oh, here we go. Yep. Awesome. So, and there's the there's the article for that in the chat. You can just go to our knowledge base, hit sending ranged offers. Don't forget to use the knowledge base because we recorded the videos on these. All right. So, like I said, right here. Okay, these are not property fields, by the way. These are associated with the campaign. Okay, Ed, that's just to reemphasize what we were talking about earlier. So with this, I would find offer price. That's what I called it. If I just left it at this, it'll just say on that document where it says price placeholder, it'll just show the 13,979. But if I selected a secondary price, should offer, I don't know what I called it. Oh, here, I called it offer price limit. Now it will say, I'd like to offer you 13,979 dash 16,774.80. So then you have a range from there. Okay. We will even, if there is a duplicate owner, we will even add the ranges together. So, if, Susie owned two properties and we have, a two, lower limit prices and two upper limit prices, we'll actually sum those up and you have a total range for those two properties. Okay.
Hey Jesse, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I guess I adjust my price within Pebble. So I have to upload the file with the prices already on it to do that.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I just go up to adjust price in Pebble, that tool, which is
Oh, got you, got you. Yeah, we don't
one of
have sort of
my
an
easy
adjust price
features.
to add a range. Now, so Terry, I didn't know you're here. Sorry about that. So what you can do is you don't need to delete the campaign, okay? Just go back to the campaign itself. Well, update your
Mhm.
spreadsheet first. Go back to the campaign and hit import list and upload that same list and then match up those two columns and that'll just update everything for you. It won't duplicate it.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm glad you clarified that for me. I didn't understand. I didn't realize you were coming from that side where you're using the price adjustment tool. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, guys. Are there any other questions I can help answer here?
Jesse, I got one more,
Yeah,
unless
go
somebody
ahead.
else has a question.
Yeah.
If I'm remailing a county like 6 months later,
Mhm.
is Pebble smart enough to recognize the APNs and then, not have duplicates in the system? Like, does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yeah. So we won't duplicate. So like let's say you pull a list again from, I don't know, Land Insights or Land Port or whatever, and it's an updated list. As long as the APNs are the same, we won't duplicate it. We'll update whatever's new. Let's just say the owner changed. I don't know, for whatever. Then we'll update just that. So it will look out for that. It's based on the APN and the county. Now, that APN has to be accurate, right? If it's off by one digit, then
Yeah.
clearly, yeah, it's not going to be.
And is it destructive editing, meaning it will replace the contact on there, or will it just add the contact? Do you
It
know?
will be destructive.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's interesting. I like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. I mean, logically, I would think we'd wipe it out. So there's probably no need to keep it in with updated information.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense. It's
yeah.
cleaner.
Yep. Ed here asks on the dashboard, looking at summary deals added this week, how do I drill into the deals added number and see a list of deals, deal name or contact name? How do I drill into the deals added number and see a list of deals, deal name or you just want to know like the deals that were added within a specific week. Is that right, Ed?
Yes. So if you go to your dashboard, you got that number.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm,
so you're like at the end of the week. So Saturday, I sit down, I kind of do a recap of my
yeah.
past week, make a plan for next week.
Yeah.
Well, if my assistant did this, did that, did the other
Mm,
thing, to this, that, and the other deal. If I'm in, on the dashboard there where it
yeah.
says,
We don't
how did you
we
get to that?
don't
I don't know.
we don't have anything like that. I'm trying to think of a solution. Ultimately, you just want to see what's added this week, right? Um,
Yeah, that would be the best thing, or last 30 days, or
yeah.
last seven, whatever the time period.
Yeah, we don't have
Um,
anything like that. We do have a new activity feed that's coming out. That's going to track for all activities on specifically for the deal and the property associated for that. So you could look at that as to what's new, but there's nothing where we'll say, hey, these were the deals added. I think to me, right, Ed, when it was added doesn't really matter. What matters to me is what's sitting on the first stage and needs to move. And if they're not moving and the task list is that they should have moved it already in 3 days, that is going to be read. Ultimately, I think what you're trying to say ahead is, are things moving forward in my business?
or did I drop something in a crack somewhere? But so, for example, we use Land Caller for cold calling. They send us daily in the form. It blows right into Pebbles. Pretty cool. End of the week, they send me lists. We sent you 9 leads this week.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at going, did I get 9 into Pebble from Land Caller? Well, if
Mm,
I just had a list in the last week,
yeah.
no matter where it came from,
Yeah.
it'd be
Yeah.
nice to narrow it down to where it came from. But
Yeah.
if I just knew what
Yeah.
came into Pebble in the
Yeah.
last 7 days,
Yeah. Yeah.
then I can kind of double check.
No.
Same, we got another company that does texting for us. Okay, so
Okay.
there's 2 outside
Yeah.
sources, and they give us, hey, we sent you 12 leads this
Okay.
week.
Okay.
Well, you know how life is. You better double check.
Sure.
If he
Sure.
said he sent 12, did
Yeah.
I receive 12? Put them into
Sure.
my
Sure.
Pebble, and did we start following up on, put them in a deal board,
Yeah.
yada yada.
So
I
does it
can't
typically come
figure
right
out how
into
you
your,
can do.
so
Go
my
ahead.
question here for you, Ed, is does it come directly into the deal board
It comes into the
inbox?
uh, inbox, and then we from there we
Mm,
look at it. Yeah,
mm,
it comes into, and then we'll put it into
a
a deal
deal?
board
I mean, they can get
manually.
in it, the texting company and honestly, like land callers should be pushing it right to your deal board. They can do that. That's my first suggestion. One for a cold call should, because they already qualified them. They don't need to go in your inbox. Same with texting.
Oh,
I would get it into the deal board. And
how do
so
you do that?
through Zapier or integrations, we can do that. That's something that probably would take way too long to explain, but JR that we give you a contact could help you with that.
I
And
see.
yeah, that's what I would do. First of all, I'd get into the deal board. One column for texting people, one column for cold calling people. Okay, let's just say lead in text, lead in cold calling. Then I would sort this by the date created first or newest first. Then I'd just count through because once I've gone through them, I'd move them to next date. They should not sit here for long until I've gone through and confirmed for the week that everybody's there. Although like I don't know what your like how often you move stuff. I don't think you batch do that at the end of the week. So um, it still doesn't really address like your ability to like easily check for everybody. But If it comes to a deal board, you can easily, you look through those names, you could type it, you could search for it, and you should be able to see it here. That's what I
Yeah.
would do. I'd get it on deal board. I think deal board is just a lot cleaner to view it. I don't know how many leads you're getting a week. Like how many are you talking about, Ed?
We probably get 3 to 5 a day, sometimes 10
Yeah.
between the
But
two
you don't
sources.
review it at the end of oh, you do. I see they send you a little sheet.
Yeah, so end of the week they get sent. They send daily sheets too. I hardly pay attention. It's more at the end of the week.
Yeah.
I'm double checking. I sit down Saturday, analyze business. Did I drop
I
anything in the
mean,
cracks? And what
yeah,
do I
I
got
mean,
to
at
do
that
next week?
point, if it's only a few, you should be able to see it on your deal board. You can search for it by the title of the name on there and look for it, but that's probably your best bet.
Yeah, that helps. That's gets me further on this subject than I was before we talked.
See you, Matt.
Um,
Yeah, no problem. Okay. And like I said, hopefully that activity feed, you'll see. Maybe that'll also give you some clarity on what the team's up to as well. And that's you can watch that on YouTube. That's going to be published next week, early next week or end of the week. You can see how our activity feed works when it comes out.
all right, very good.
Okay. Ed, thanks very much for joining. And to the rest of you guys watching the recorded, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks again, Ed. Bye, everybody.